Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Please be seated. Your Excellency, with your permission, I'll begin. His Excellency the Governor will present the following honours and awards and Australian Bravery decorations. Awarded the Bravery Medal and awarded the Group Bravery Citation, Sergeant Nicole Ann Jackson. The late Detective Senior Constable Damien Leading to be received by Mrs Sonia Leading. Senior Constable Wayne Algie. Constable Kelly Nicole Gephardt. Constable Melanie Kathleen Godfrey. Senior Sergeant Brett Raymond McGibbon. Senior Constable Vate Vosage. In the late evening of the 29th of May 2011, Sergeant Nicole Jackson, then a Detective Senior Constable, and Detective Senior Constable Damien Leading of the Queensland Police Service responded to an armed robbery incident at the Pacific Pines Tavern in Queensland. Detective Senior Constable Jackson and Detective Senior Constable Leading stopped their vehicle outside the Pacific Pines Tavern and proceeded on foot with weapons drawn. Despite the dangerous situation and being unaware of the offender's exact location, Detective Senior Constable Leading scaled a fence and called out to the offenders before being shot by one of them. Detective Senior Constable Jackson instantly ran to the police vehicle to call for urgent medical assistance. Despite the continuing dangerousness of the situation, she immediately returned to where Detective Senior Constable Leading was and began to perform CPR. At this point, the armed offenders fled on foot. Knowing that one of their colleagues had been shot, other officers quickly arrived at the scene. One of the offenders was seen running away and was tackled to the ground and detained. The second offender was believed to be in nearby bushland, and two officers, one of whom was a dog handler, quickly headed along a track in search of the offender. A police dog was released, and after a short search, the second offender was located and detained. Sadly, Detective Senior Constable Leading did not survive the wounds he had sustained. By their actions, Sergeant Jackson and Detective Senior Constable Leading displayed considerable bravery and are awarded the Bravery Medal. For their actions, Sergeant Jackson, Detective Senior Constable Leading, Senior Constable Algie, Constable Gephardt, Constable Godfrey, Senior Sergeant McGibbon and Senior Constable Vosage are recognised by the award of the Group Bravery Citation. Awarded the Australian Police Medal, Sergeant Narelle Gayleen Collins. For outstanding dedication, commitment, leadership, professionalism, enthusiasm and hard work in many positions within the Queensland Police Service, including as a forensics officer, most recently as regional fingerprint expert in the Townsville district, achieving outstanding results, which has earned the respect of her peers. Inspector Cherie Tracy Cumming. For outstanding dedication and commitment in many roles within the Queensland Police Service, including through leadership and excellence in organisational improvement, change management and mentoring, and in improving the work environment for women. Inspector Peter Michael Flanders, for outstanding dedication and commitment during his career with the Queensland Police Service, including as Operations Manager, Road Policing Command, where he has excelled in his contribution to motorcycle policing and safety, and for leadership in organisational improvement, policy development, change management, and reduction in road trauma. Detective Superintendent Peter John Fleming, for a significant record of achievement, commitment and excellence as a detective and in a range of specialist areas within the Queensland Police Service, including with the QPS and the Queensland Reconstruction Authority following the floods of 2011, as Chief of Staff to the Police Commissioner and now as Operations Commander, Specialist Services Group. Inspector Robert John McCall, for dedication to the welfare and professional development of others, particularly through long-term voluntary involvement in various Queensland Police Service clubs and associations, and for serving with distinction in a range of QPS appointments where he is highly regarded by those with whom he works. Senior Sergeant Braden Michael Murphy, for a distinguished career culminating in his current position as Officer in Charge, Gold Coast Road Policing Unit, demonstrating leadership in policy development and commitment to road safety and departmental motorcycle training, and for involvement in honouring fallen officers, especially through chairing the National Committee of the Police Federation Wall-to-Wall Ride. Inspector Virginia Ann Nelson, for professionalism, skills as a prosecutor, and for leadership in establishing and implementing mentoring and development programs for women in the Queensland Police Service, including currently as the City Patrol Group Inspector in the Capricornia District. Awarded the Commendation for Brave Conduct, Senior Constable Adrian Patrick Browning, Senior Constable Jason Lee Gosling. In the early hours of the 14th of February 2012, Senior Constable, then Constable Adrian Browning, and Senior Constable, then Constable Jason Gosling attempted to prevent a man from committing suicide at Elanora in Queensland. The two officers attended a residence in Ironbark Street, Elanora, to provide assistance to a person who had locked themselves inside a car in a garage. A person at the house had earlier informed Brisbane Police Communications Centre that he was hearing voices inside his head and that he was intending to set himself on fire. On arrival, Constable Browning and Constable Gosling, ensuring that they had a fire extinguisher at hand, located a man sitting in a locked vehicle in the garage. The man was holding a cigarette lighter and a can of lighter fluid. While Constable Gosling attempted to calm the agitated man, Constable Browning obtained spare keys to the vehicle. The man in the car began to flick the cigarette lighter and the lighter fluid caught alight. A large explosion then occurred and Constable Gosling was blown through a doorway into the house and covered with ceiling debris. He immediately got up and returned to the garage and saw Constable Browning, uninjured by the explosion, trying to extinguish the flames. Constable Browning was able to push the nozzle of the fire extinguisher into the car and extinguish the flames. Unfortunately, the fire again took hold inside the car, and Constable Browning and Constable Gosling immediately evacuated as flames engulfed the interior of the garage. For their actions, Senior Constable Browning and Senior Constable Gosling are awarded the Commendation for Brave Conduct. Awarded the Group Bravery Citation, Sergeant Stephane Elaine Frickety, Major Scott Leighton Hill, Sergeant Robert Anthony Colthorpe, formerly Acting Senior Sergeant, Constable Connor Neil Caneen, Detective Senior Constable Martin Payne, Plainclothes Senior Constable Stephen Leslie Pelser, formerly Constable. In the early afternoon of the 9th of April 2015, members of the Queensland Police Service and the Australian Defence Force attempted to evacuate an elderly man from a burning house at Mitchelton in Queensland. A police officer and 2 members of the Australian Defence Force were driving in a police vehicle when they noticed dark-coloured smoke coming from a nearby residence. They stopped the vehicle and were informed that an elderly man resided in the house. They noted all the doors and windows were shut and secured from the inside. The 2 Defence Force members attempted to gain access via a back door, with the fire continuing to intensify. A person could be heard yelling from inside the residence. 3 other police officers then arrived and, using sledgehammers and axes, gained entry to the house. The 4 officers went inside, with 1 officer using a garden hose. They were quickly overcome by smoke and heat and had to exit the house. 2 officers then went to assist the Defence Force members at the rear of the house. After several attempts, they managed to force open a door, and the Defence Force members attempted to go inside, but were forced to withdraw due to the thick smoke and heat. A police officer then attempted to enter the burning house, but was also forced to withdraw. By their actions, the recipients are recognised by the award of the Group Bravery Citation. Awarded the Group Bravery Citation, Senior Constable Matthew John Grace, Sergeant Brett Anthony Martin, Senior Constable Michael John McGann, Senior Constable Paul James McNamara, Sergeant Ashley Purvey. On the evening of the 12th of June 2014, 5 members of the Queensland Police Service were involved in extracting 4 people from a burning vehicle at Bracken Ridge in Queensland. A road pursuit was initiated at Bracken Ridge when a stolen vehicle was identified travelling on the Bruce Highway. The vehicle left the sealed road and became bogged in long grass. 3 police officers using their vehicles to prevent the stolen car leaving the area and approached the car with firearms drawn. The stolen vehicle then burst into flames, with thick black smoke emanating from the front of the car, and quickly after an explosion followed. The occupants refused to exit the car, as the driver continued to use the vehicle's accelerator in order to free the car from its stuck position. 1 officer broke the vehicle's windscreen and removed the ignition keys. The driver then opened his door and began to reach under the seat. With the assistance of 3 officers and a police dog, the driver was pulled from the burning vehicle and restrained while other officers entered the smoke-filled vehicle and evacuated the remaining occupants. For their actions, the recipients are recognised by the award of the Group Bravery Citation. Your Excellency, that concludes this morning's awards. Can I now invite you to address the recipients and their guests?
Thank you, Official Secretary. It is with great pleasure and humility that Kay and I welcome to Government House the members of the Queensland Police Service and the Australian Defence Force, who we've recognised today for their bravery, dedication and service. It is an honour to have them here as our guests, and we also welcome our official guests and the proud families, friends and colleagues of our recipients. I at once acknowledge the traditional custodians of the lands around Brisbane, the Turrbal and Yagara peoples, and I extend my respect to their elders past and present. Every ceremony where bravery awards are presented is unique, but there is one fact that never changes: the gratitude that we feel as individuals and as a community for the selfless actions of our fellow Queenslanders who have put their own lives at risk, often in perilous circumstances, in the service of others. Today's ceremony is particularly poignant and meaningful because among those honoured today is the late Detective Senior Constable Damien Leading, who died as a result of wounds sustained when he and 6 of his police colleagues responded to an armed robbery in May 2011. 6 years after that incident, it is a privilege for us to be here today to see Sonia receive on his behalf his Bravery Medal and to have Detective Senior Constable Leading's dedication and selfless service recognised alongside that of the other officers involved. In addition to the officers involved in that fatal incident, a great number of officers today, 2 of them members of the Australian Defence Force, faced different but equally life-threatening situations when officers attempted to evacuate an elderly man from a burning house, and in separate incidents, other officers risked their lives extracting 4 people from a burning vehicle and attempted to prevent a man from committing suicide by setting fire to himself in a locked vehicle. Few of the civilians here today, indeed few civilians at all, have experienced the degree of violence, fear and risk to life involved in incidents of that character. But every one of today's recipients has served on the front line protecting communities from harm. The officers being honoured today by the award of the Australian Police Medal have given long and dedicated service to the Queensland community. Every one of them has served in the police force for more than a quarter of a century, some for more than 30 years. They have seen unprecedented change in Australian society in that time, and after careers in uniform, have dedicated themselves to ensuring that the Queensland Police Service responds appropriately and proactively to those changes. They have helped introduce advances in forensics, road safety, disaster recovery and motorcycle safety, and they have implemented professional development, welfare and mentoring programs to support the women and men in the service. It's worth noting the words which occur repeatedly in the citations for today's awardees: professionalism, excellence, dedication, commitment, leadership, enthusiasm. Those words are not used lightly, and they express not only the core ethos of the Queensland Police Service, but the values and goals that we share as a society. As a society, we value generosity and sacrifice. We value decency and integrity. We value dedication, commitment and service. And we appreciate and value those who support our communities. I am pleased that I'm able to recognise the outstanding contribution of the Queensland Police Service and the Australian Defence Force by presenting these honours and awards today. I'm also very pleased that as Governor, I am able to speak for all my fellow Queenslanders with complete confidence in congratulating and thanking every one of you for the difference you make in our communities and for helping to make Queensland a stronger and better state. It has been an honour. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Excellency. Ladies and gentlemen, would you please stand for the Vice-Regal salute and the Governor's departure. Thank you, Your Excellency. Could I invite you and Mr. Jesse to retire momentarily while we organise recipients for a photo?